Do you want to come do the announcements? Because I have them here if you'd like a break. I'm talking to our board president who does this every Sunday for us for a long, long time. So today he's going to have a little break, and hopefully I do these correctly if I don't holler out something if I forget something. And they should come up on our screen. Okay, today after the service is a very important congregational meeting. So hopefully you will all attend. There's a few things. We do a mid-year budget review, and we're also going to talk about a few other things like our restructuring of the governance of our congregation, or getting the process started. And it's very important that everybody be here for all the things we're going to discuss. And that's after service. Pretty soon after service, I think. Okay, and then just for a reminder, this week coming up, we have a membership team meeting at 7. And if you're interested in membership, Debbie Skirto, who is back there, she would be the person to talk to. And then, of course, on Tuesday, which is the day before the membership meeting, we have the Talk O Tuesday. And it's a wonderful time to come online and share some fellowship. And the link always is the same, isn't it? It's where is the link? It gets sent out every week, I think. So on Tuesday. Okay, and then coming up, there's going to be on January 30th an intergenerational game night here. And it'll be fun. It's at 6 p.m., Monday, January 30th. A fun thing to do, come and support intergenerational activities. And then we are having we're having an ongoing class on the UUA Article 2 Study Commission. We're sort of learning how to approach that, and then how to think about some big changes that our UUA wants to make to how we define who we are. So if you have a strong feeling about that, which probably a lot of you do, it would be a great class for you to come to. And the next time, Laura More, have we set that time? We haven't really set it yet. So watch for it. It's coming in mid-February. And then, have we certified membership yet? Because if you are a member and you haven't signed our good stewardship card, we certify our membership by February. And if for some reason you've lagged on that, this is a time. You need a good stewardship card signed every year to be a member. So I don't know, sometimes people I didn't let this one go, but I let a lot of things go. I'm a terrible procrastinator. So if you've been a procrastinator, now is the time that you don't have any more time. So it's time to do that, if you know what I'm talking about. Okay, and that is the announcements that I have. Anybody have anything else that's very important? Okay. So let us enter into our time of worship now. And we do that by sounding the bowl 3 times. We sound it once for the people who came before, the Tongva people and other native people who are the original stewards of this land, and our ancestors, the founding members of this congregation. We sound it once for those of us here and now, for our members, our friends, our visitors, our staff, and our extended UU family who we hold and care and grow in our hearts as we grow this beloved community. Is that loud enough? And we ring it once for the future, for those who will come, and for all those who will find belonging and meaning in this congregation in the days ahead. And let's just ring it for the future in general, because we need to. And our opening song, before before we sing our opening song, which is number 188, Come, Come, Whoever You Are, it's very familiar to us, before we stand, if we're willing and able to sing it, I want to read to you Rumi's entire words, because we leave out one phrase out of this song that's pretty important, I think. It's short, as the song is. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. It doesn't matter. Ours is not a caravan of despair. Come, even if you have broken your vows 1,000 times. Come, yet again come, come. So let us rise up and sing. I think I said to repeat it, so we'll do it twice. We're going to try something a little different. I think we've done this before, but this is sort of a request from our minister that we include this, and it's beautiful. So we have a video of Amanda Gorman's poem that she gave in the UN General Assembly this last fall. So let's see how this works. All trust in Jarius.
UN Secretary General, distinguished guests, and all of humankind. How can I ask you to do good when we've barely withstood our greatest threats yet? The depths of death, despair, and disparity, atrocities across cities, towns, and countries, lives lost, climactic costs, exhausted, angered. We are endangered, not because of our numbers, but because of our numbness. We're strangers to one another's perils and pain, unaware that the welfare of the public and the planet share a name. Equality doesn't mean being the exact same, but enacting a vast aim, the good of the world to its highest capability. The wise believe that our people without power leaves our planet without possibility. Therefore, though poverty is a poor existence, complicity is a poorer excuse. We must go the distance, though this battle is hard and huge, though this fight we did not choose for. Preserving the earth isn't a battle too big to win, but a blessing too large to lose. This is the most pressing truth, that our people have only one planet to call home, and our planet has only one people to call its own. We can either divide and be conquered by the few, or we can decide to conquer the future and say that today a new dawn rewrote. Say that as long as we have humanity, we will forever have hope. Together, we won't just be the generation that tries, but the generation that triumphs. Let us see a legacy where tomorrow is not driven by the human condition, but by our human conviction. And while hope alone can't save us now. With it, we can brave the now because our hardest change hinges on our darkest challenges. Thus, may our crisis be our cry, our crossroad, the oldest ode we owe each other. We chime it for the climate, for our communities. We shall respect and protect every part of this planet, hand it to every heart on this earth until no one's worth is rendered by the race, gender, class, or identity they were born. This morn, let it be sworn that we are one human kin, grounded not just by the griefs we bear, but by the good we begin. To anyone out there, I only ask that you care before it's too late, that you live aware and awake, that you lead with love in hours of hate. I challenge you to heed this call. I dare you to shape our fate. Above all, I dare you to do good so that the world might be great. Thank you.
Well, she's amazing. Her words are just so beautiful. So thank you for, okay, so today we will light our chalices. We're gonna light 2 chalices right now. The chalice for the one from the Philippines that our children carry, and our big old chalice that is a symbol of our faith. And we light our chalice today in honor and memory of the poets of this congregation who are no longer with us, in honor of the poets and the poet appreciators who have gathered here today, and in honor and in gratitude for poetry itself, which illuminates our lives in so many ways. So let me do this. Let me hope I have my matches. I love to do this one. For the children and for our Calapayan partnership. And then this is a little premature, but we also have a chalice that our Reverend Maggie brought, and I think we should light it right now. This is for the special sorrow that we're all experiencing right now, having heard about what happened in Monterey Park, mass shooting. So we'll just light this little chalice and add this light of our faith to the universe and to the people suffering there. Because we're all suffering too with that. It's so sad. So here's our chalice of compassion. Okay, and let us rise and speak our covenant together, and then remain standing to sing Spirit of Life. Okay. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, and to serve the world in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow in harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other. I should have made a green slide for that. We're experimenting, as you can see, with our backgrounds and stuff. Thank you. You all sounded great. I hope you all did too. Okay, so right now I will call up Robert, our Director of Lifespan Religious Education, and he has a poem for the children, and the children in all of us.
My poem is from Shel Silverstein's Where the Sidewalk Ends. So this is called The Toucan. Tell me who can catch a toucan. Lou can. Just how few can ride the toucan. Toucan. What kind of goo can stick you to the toucan? Glue can. Who can write some more about the toucan? You can. And with that, would the children present like to come up and grab the chalice and you guys can sing us out to class?
This is a time in our service where we take our Sunday offering, holding in mind that our generosity supports and sustains this beloved congregation. Please feel free to come forward with your gifts for this congregation or for the Beta Center if you have them, while we listen to Lily. Thank you. It's time for a sharing of joys and concerns. Boy, I don't have a laptop, so I don't know what's on chat. But maybe, I don't know, Joyous, come help me if there's something I need to say, but let me, nothing on chat? Oh, thank you. Okay, well, okay. First of all, we have Shirley Usurius has prayers for my daughter Heidi's kidney surgery that's coming this Wednesday. And then from Megan and Bob, deep concern for our dear friend Linda, who has recently been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. We also have a message from Margaret Davis, who was a member here for many years, and it's about another member that you may know. Okay, I'm going to read. Okay.
You might just roll that up.
Okay. Okay.
But the family gave their.
They got, okay. Okay. So our friend, this is from Margaret, our friend Colleen Bennett is very ill with cancer and is in hospice care at Pilgrim Place. She had initially wanted to keep the news from spreading, but at this point, Brian thinks it would be fine to let others know. He thinks it would do Colleen good to realize that others are thinking of her. And then Margaret visited Colleen today, and she's very weak. She has much difficulty talking, but seemed quite lucid and understood what I had to say. The nurses were so kind and gentle with her, so she's in good hands. She would surely appreciate cards and notes. So if you're inclined, please address them, and it's to Colleen Bennett at Pilgrim's Place Health Services Center at 721 Harrison Avenue. And you can get that from any number of people. Yeah, and also let's hold, besides Colleen, let's hold Brian and Kyle, her son, in our hearts. Kyle grew up here to be about the tallest kid I ever seen in my life. So those are concerns. I've been concerned for my sister, as I've mentioned before. She's been very, very sick, and some things are resolving a little, but it looks like she'll be having an operation soon to remove her bladder. So, boy. Anyway, and a joy and a happiness. Carissa Moore had a medical procedure on Wednesday, and it went very well. So let's hold that happiness in our hearts and be grateful for that. And then, of course, in our wider world, hey, everything seems really, really awful. It's bad in the Ukraine right now. It's bad all over the world. There's so much horrible aggression and abuse going on that we can't help but have that weighing on our hearts. And then locally in Monterey Park last night, there was a shooter came into a celebration for the Lunar New Year and shot a lot of people. I believe I heard he shot 20. I don't know how many died. Killed 10. Okay. And that's just such a sadness. So sometimes these, they just almost seem too much to bear. But let us take a moment to sit in silence together and just breathe together. Let's take a moment to just feel gratitude that we have each other to be with today, to help us to understand and share and just feel sorrow for the burdens and hope, for the hope we can generate among each other, and for the joys. Let us hold everything that's been expressed here today in our hearts and in our prayers, if we pray. And let us hold all that hasn't been expressed, because I know we all hold so many joys and sorrows in our hearts. But in being together, we share. Let's take a breath and calm ourselves. Take a moment to appreciate yourself. And hold some love, some special love for you, who are so brave just to be alive. And every day get out and do what you can to live your life in the best way that you feel that you can. And I who do pray, sort of to my different sort of ways I pray, I have a little slightly rewritten prayer. You will all know it because it's pretty much as it is. It's a little bit of a change from St. Francis's prayer of peace. Let us think of this. Spirit of life and love, make me a channel of peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. May it be that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we truly receive, and it is in forgiving that we are truly forgiven. And blessed be, when we feel so hurt and angry, we have to know that love is the ultimate power. And I have you playing a slight little time. You just do it perfect. That was very, very, thank you. Okay, and now, so it is our time to enter into doing the poetry potluck. And we've had, as in a way of introduction, I have sort of a few things. First of all, the poetry potluck was here when I came here in about 1999, 98. And it's been here every time, at least once a year. It's usually held the Sunday in between Christmas and New Year's, but that didn't happen this year because there wasn't a Sunday in between Christmas and New Year's. But we couldn't let it pass. So the person who did the poetry potluck, who ran the poetry potluck for years and years and years, was a resident poet, Bruce Williams. And we had quite a bunch of, there's always been a bunch of poets in this congregation. But he and a bunch of guys had a little band too, and he always did the service, and they played music together. And of course, their music was poetry too. And then Bruce got older and got a little more difficult, and different people began helping him to lay lead. And then eventually, Bruce died, and then different people have lay-led it throughout the time. And but we never forget Bruce. Somehow Bruce is attached to this. And we have, so I'm going to read, my readings are going to be 3 poems by our past poets of a big influence. And I'm going to read first from a woman that some of you may remember. She was quite a kick, and her name was Helen Graziano. And she wrote some poems I will not read here, but they were great. And this is her book called Woman on Paper. And I will read, this is one that I think that she felt particularly proud of. It's called Like a Diamond, and it's thanks to Joan Baez. And if I'm smart right now, I will put on my glasses. Okay, so in honor of Helen, we read her poetry. I was given a diamond every year with hope that I would sparkle and spit fire and show smarts and chutzpah. Diamonds are forever. Perhaps not. Memories bring diamonds and rust, sings St. Joan. Rust in the corners of my unused mind, like machinery discarded, iron corrodes and oxidizes, ending in sweet decay. Rusty souvenirs along a backyard fence. Flawless like a diamond and unlike rust. Eve, so earthy and corruptible in her setting, a diamond in the buff, they say. Unadorned, unbejeweled, Adam caught her in nudity of original sin and a fig leaf. We hope that life still has surprises, the sun still rises, the moon wanes, the costly string of diamonds dangles on a weathered neck. I belong in a museum. I hear your voice on the phone, unchanged by the years. You erase the lines beneath my eyes and my fears. The rust diminishes. Eyes sparkle with a smile. The day is either like a diamond or like rust. With clarity, I choose to dare, my ring finger now bare. I'll never have that perfect gem, a diamond solitaire. That is Ellen Graziano. And then Bruce, it was hard for me to pick. He has a number of books of poetry. But I think, let me see, which one is this? Okay, I will read this one because it's about words. His were powerful and very personal. How it is. Words don't like me anymore, and I don't like them. They want to be in a book. I want to revise my Jeep. Give her a vocabulary of traction and articulation of wheels. My old words I give to my daughter for her UC applications, or my son for his thesis. for his thesis on James Wright. Neither of them drives my Jeep. I skip poetry for Jeep catalogs. Learn the dialect they use, locking and slip differentials, suspension and body lifts, floating axles, sway bar disconnects, skid plates, rock sliders, winches, snatch blocks, and sand anchors, onboard air. I want to guide my Jeep up some hard desert road nearly no one knows, see the print of Beale's camels, the track of Patton's tanks, petroglyphs, soldiers' graffiti, Willie Boy's near-forgotten grave. Translate this sparse language, give you different words. He camped a lot in the desert, and he took his Jeep. They took his Jeep, the Jeep. And I knew him with his wife, Ellen, who died, and then his next partner, Grace. And I believe this book is dedicated to Grace. And they both went in the Jeep with him in the desert. Okay. And last not least, before I turn it over to you all, this is from, we had another poet, Roger Humes. Cynthia Humes' husband. He was a master poet and did a lot of amazing things in the world to further dialogue among people through poetry. You could Google him, and you will find a wealth of information. And he wrote this one. It's about writing poetry. It's called There Is an Instant. Okay, there is an instant where words cease to exist, where time is suspended, where consciousness disappears. It comes when I least expect it, when I am totally unprepared for its presence, when I would prefer solitude as a companion, when I give way to its inevitable consequence. The lines roll from my hand to smolder and set the words ablaze. The lines roll from my dreams to cover a thirsty soul with a wave. The lines come not from the mouth, but from the spirit and the heart. Told in whispers like ancient stories, the lines come and then depart. They come when I least expect it, when I am totally unprepared for their intrusion, when I would prefer seclusion as a companion, when I give way to their inevitable conclusion. There is an instant, and when it comes, I am no longer alone. And that's Roger Humes. And now, it's time for us to share. So if you have a poem, I know some of you would like me to bring a microphone to you, and then those of us, I think, those of us who are on Zoom, I think I'm just going to turn it, we're going to sort of take turns back and forth, but I'm going to start with someone in the sanctuary who would like to come up here, and then we're going to progress along, just coming and volunteering, or we'll pick you from the Zoom gallery, and we will highlight you, and then you can unmute and read. So let's go. And I think I'll call our Reverend Maggie up first.
Thank you, Catherine. The poetry that I chose originally was one that I shared just the other night in our grief group. But this morning, because of what happened in Monterey Park and what's happened so many times, Barbara Kingsolver pushed her way forward, and we have a poem from her. It's called How to Love Your Neighbor. And a second one, How to Be Hopeful. I'll read them together. How to love your neighbor, all of them, not just the morning shoppers, the man who walks his chortling dog, the couples with strawberry children. These are the given. Announce your rebel kindness in letters painted much too large on the back of your jacket. Children will stare, dogs bark, doors bolt. Anyway, walk. Your shoes will wear out and then your knees. You will find the colds every angle, the want of rain, a drought of blessings, your vanished face. Close by, behind dust-colored curtains, a woman wrapping her hijab, girding herself for the street of this day, will call to her husband, "Come, see." And these two will kneel at their window. Mercy wears lightning bolts on her shoulder, threads of fire in her white hair, the face of the sun. How to be helpful. Look, you might as well know this device is going to take endless repair. Rubber cement, rubber bands, tapioca, the square of the hypotenuse, 19th century novels, sunrise, any of these could be useful. Also feathers. The ignition is tricky. Sometimes you have to stand on an incline where things look possible, or a line that you drew yourself, or the grocery line, making faces at a toddler secretly over his mother's shoulder. You may have to pop the clutch and run past the evidence, past everyone who is praying for you. Passing all previous records is okay, or passing strange, just not passing it up. Or park it and fly by the seat of your pants with nothing in the bank. You will still want to take the express. Tiptoe past the dogs of the apocalypse, asleep in the shade of your future. Pay at the window. You'll be surprised. You can pass off hope like a bad check. You still have time. That's the thing, to make it good.
And is there someone else in the sanctuary who would like to come? Juliana, be careful here.
I wrote this poem a number of years ago when my grandson was younger. The title is Blood Quantum. For those of you who do not know what blood quantum is, it is the way the U.S. government in the 1800s decided to categorize whether a person was Native American, what tribe they belonged to, because it deals with how much blood you have. That's Native American. My grandson cuts himself into 16 pieces. 4/16 Yoruba from Africa, 3/16 Spanish from Spain, 4/16 other European, 2 Swiss German great-great-grandfathers, Worth and Kaiser, Irish, English, and who knows what. 3/16 Mexican, whatever mixtures that may be. 2/16 Navajo. Who am I? What am I? Who are you? What are you? Who sets the rules? Do we really know? White men? Black? Indian? Native American? Irish, English, German? From where and for whom? He looks Navajo. Blue-black straight hair, pale brown skin, obsidian eyes. One 4-year-old girl asked him, "Are you an American Indian?" His 6-year-old self says nothing. She repeats, "Are you an American Indian?" He says, "It's complicated." The Navajo won't claim him, too little blood. He needs 1/4, not 1/8. Caddo and Fort Sill Apache allow 1/16, not Navajos. 1/4 blood is for Sioux, Cheyenne, Kiowa, Navajo. 1/8 works for Comanche and Pawnee. Some Cherokees only want a Cherokee ancestor, but he has none of these. Is he Navajo? Is he white? The Old South goes by the one-drop rule. One drop of Negro is a person with 99 and 100% white and 100% black. Who says? Kids at school ask, "What are you?" He tells them. They say, "You're lying." I only know specifically about two ancestors, the Swiss Germans. Another great-grandfather disappeared during the Civil War. I don't even know his name. Who am I? Who are you? I think I'll get a DNA test. Then I'll know how many pieces I need to cut myself into.
Did, what? Here you go. And then, Jeannie, would you like me to come bring you? I will. I'm going to take Jeannie a mic, so we're going to switch your camera around. Okay, see there, it's green. Oh, now it turned red. No, it's, oh my God.
Steve, it's blinking red. What does that mean? It means
Means
battery,
no
right?
battery.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Well, I'll tell you what, anybody else will go forward with a different, Ellen, would you like to come?
Yeah.
Okay, and then we'll take it a new battery and then it'll all be good for this.
Well, back
I'm bringing Maribel.
Oh, good.
Hi, everybody. Our congregation keeps expanding. It's wonderful to see everyone. Because of this poetry potluck, a woman named Helen Grazianos went on to start a poetry workshop. And she inspired me to write almost every Friday a new poem. And eventually I had a lot of them over the years. And a member of that workshop offered to put together a collection of my poems, which just happened to come out last week. And if anybody would like a copy of this, just tell me. I brought about 10 extra. And today I'm calling on my friend Maribel to read responsibly a poem that I call When the Honeysuckle Blooms. And it'll be almost like a call and response. One statement and then a slightly contradictory statement.
Let me just ask, are you starting here?
I'll do this and then you'll start there. Okay. It's called When the Honeysuckle Blooms. After 6 years, the honeysuckle vine grew high enough in my yard above the fence to reach the sunlight. The honeysuckle in my garden is finally in bloom.
People are fleeing the Taliban in Afghanistan.
Red-orange blossoms are bursting out all over the vine.
Women are back in their burqas, but not in school.
The growing vine attracts a diversity of birds, bees, and butterflies.
People in our country go about shooting their neighbors.
Hummingbirds thrum and scold each other for their chance at nectar.
Misinformation continues to spread disease that kills.
Blossoms, shaped like tiny trumpets, are decor for dark brown branches.
Desperate refugees line up at our borders.
I look out my kitchen window, smiling at such abundance, breathing in beauty.
Hospital beds overflow with choking patients.
I walk carefully among fallen flowers on the ground by my garden gate.
Friends refuse vaccines that could save their lives and mine.
Surprise of color-soaked beauty delights and beguiles.
What endless lengths we go to in order to deprive ourselves of each other.
Thank you. Timely. I'll autograph it.
Are we on? Yes. Okay, the poem that I brought is not an original. It's by Theodore Redke, and it's called The Waking. And I have loved this poem for years and years. I wake to sleep and take my waking slow. I feel my fate in what I cannot fear. I learn by going where I have to go. We think by feeling, what is there to know? I hear my being dance from ear to ear. I wake to sleep and take my waking slow. Of those so close beside me, which are you? God bless the ground, I shall walk softly there and learn by going where I have to go. Light takes the tree, but who can tell us how? The lowly worm climbs up a winding stair. I wake to sleep and take my waking slow. Great nature has another thing to do to you and me, so take the lively air and lovely, learn by going where to go. This shaking keeps me steady, I should know. What falls away is always and is near. I wake to sleep and take my waking slow. I learn by going where I have to go.
Is there anyone else who would like to sit and read? Okay.
Oh, you turn it off, hold the left one down for about 3 seconds.
I do know how to do it, I just was not doing what it was supposed to. Whoa, there go my glasses. And anyone who would like to come up? Anyone else? I don't know you.
I'm Jack.
Hi, Jack. I'm Catherine.
Hello. I have a poem that I wrote just a minute ago because I didn't know that this was happening. But I wanted to share. So it goes, I wish I'd known today was the poetry potluck. I might have brought a poem. A potluck means a time to share food that we might nourish our bodies, to share words that we might nourish our souls. Today, I have my joy and gratitude to offer this potluck. Thank you.
Wow, how special. Thank you so much. Okay, anybody else in the sanctuary? Come on. Here comes Mark Moninger.
Now for something completely different. One of my favorite poets and songwriters was Shel Silverstein. And he wrote some really funny, off-the-wall poems and stories. And this one I heard on Dr. Demento's show back in the 70s. And it's kind of silly and semi probably not appropriate for some people, but for this group, I think you can handle it. In the laid-back California town of sunny San Rafael, lived a girl named Pearly Sweetcake. You probably knew her well. She'd been stoned 15 of her 18 years, and the story is widely told that she could smoke 'em faster than anyone could roll. Her legend finally reached New York, that Grove Street walk-up flat, where dwelt the Calistoga Kid, a beatnik from the past. With long brown lightning fingers, he takes a cultured toke and says, "Jim, I could roll 'em faster than any chick could smoke." Well, note gets sent to San Rafael for a championship of the world. The kid demands a smoke-off. "Well, bring him on," says Pearl. I'll grind his fingers off his hands. He'll roll until he drops." Says Calistoga, "I'll smoke that chick till she blows up and pops." So they rent out Yankee Stadium, and the word is quickly spread. Come one, come all who walk or crawl, tickets just 2 lids ahead. And from every town and hamlet over land and sea they speed, the world's greatest dopers with the world's greatest weed. Hashishniks from Morocco, hemp smokers from Peru, and the shamniks from Bagoon who puff the deadly pugaroo. And those who call it light of life, and those who call it boo. See the dealers and the ladies wearing turquoise lace and leather. See the narcos and the closet puffers, smokers puffing all together. From the teens who smoke legal to the ones who done some time, to the old man who smoked reefer back before it was a crime. And they play the national anthem, and the crowd lets out a roar as the spotlight hits the Kid and Pearl, ready for their smoke and war. At a table piled up high with grass as high as a mountain peak, just tops and buds of the rarest flowers, not one stem, branch, or seed. Maui Wowie, Panama Red, and Acapulco Gold, keefs from East Afghanistan, and rare Alaskan cold sticks from Thailand, ganja from the islands, and Bangkok's bloomin' best, and some of the wet imported stuff that capsized off Key West. Oaxacan tops and Kenya Bang and Riviera Fleurs and that rare Manhattan silver that grows down beneath the New York sewers. And there's bubbling ice cold lemonade and sweet grapes by the bunches. And there's Hershey bars and Oreos, in case anybody gets the munchies. And the Calistoga Kid, he sneers, and Pearly, she just grins, and the drums roll low and the crowd yells, "Go!" And the world's first smoke-off begins. Kid flicks his magic fingers once and zap, that first joint's rolled. Pearl takes one drag with her mighty lungs and whoosh, that roach is cold. Then the Kid, he rolls his super bomb that would paralyze a moose, and Pearl takes one hit and the bomb's diffused. He rolls 3 in 10 seconds, she smokes him up in 9. And everybody lays back and says, "This just might take some time." See the blur of flying fingers and the red coal burning bright as the night turns into morning and the morning fades to night and the autumn turns to summer till a whole damn year is gone and the two still sit on the roach-filled stage smoking and rolling. But as she reaches out her hand for another stick of gold, the Kid, he gasps, "Damn it, woman, there's nothing left to roll." "Nothing left to roll," screams Pearl. "Is this some twisted joke? I didn't come here to mess around, man. I come here to smoke." And she reaches across the table and she grabs his bony sleeves and she crumbles his body beneath her hands like dry, brittle leaves, flicking out his teeth and bones like useless stems and seeds. And then she rolls him in a zigzag and she lights him like a roach. And the fastest man with the fastest hands goes up in a puff of smoke. Now, in the laid-back California town of sunny San Rafael lives a girl named Pearly Sweetcake. You probably know her well. She'd been stoned 21 of her 24 years, and stories widely told how she still can smoke 'em faster than anyone can roll. Well, off in New York City, on a street that has no name, there's the hands of the Calistoga Kid in the Viper Hall of Fame. And underneath his fingers, there's a little golden scroll that says, "Beware of being the roller when there's nothing left to roll."
Wow. Thank you, Mark. That I've heard that before, but it's been a long time. He could update it with some different strains. And remember that Shel Silverstein also wrote the child's poem that was written. He was a very wonderful poet, actually. Okay, so I want to check online and see, how about it, Dawn? Are you going to read? Okay. Let's see, if anybody online wants to read, raise your hand. Lynn. So let's highlight Lynn, and I think you need to unmute yourself. He'll give you permission. Yeah, unmute yourself, Lynn. This is our big, sorry, we're getting a little late here, but I hope this is all worth it. It is to me.
Can you hear me?
You gotta unmute.
Can you hear me?
It's happening again. It's doing it again.
If somebody just nod if you can hear me, or just let me know.
It needs to be a little bit louder. Just a sec, Lynn.
Can you hear me?
We're starting to be able to, it's low.
Oh. Well, if there's not enough time, that's okay.
No, that's good. You're good. I think you're gonna just read loud. Whoops.
Speak loud. I'm good at that. Can you hear me now?
I hear you. I think we're hearing it from Jarius. Lynn, we're gonna get this, because we want to hear what your
Oh.
do. Wouldn't you know, we could go along for months with no technology problems and then just hit them today.
Well, if you can't, that's okay. We'll just do it another time.
No, that's okay. Just give us a sec and we'll see. I think we can do this. I feel. Darn. She's on. It's just not coming to these speakers.
That's okay.
Unplugged. Okay. Okay, Lynn, I think we need to not do it, I guess. So,
Okay. Well, next time.
and read it next week? Are you coming next week?
Possibly.
Okay.
Are we singing next week?
Okay. And then is there anyone else on Zoom too? I don't know if we're missing anyone else. Anybody else that wishes they were reading? Maybe we can.
I have my hand up. Can you hear me?
Robin?
Yes.
And anybody else? So maybe we can get a chance, we can figure out what's going on and have a little mini poetry read next week. How about it, Reverend Maggie? Anybody else that is on that I don't see? Okay. Well, somehow let us know. I'm really sorry. I'm seeing that you're seeing my back. So, with that, then I feel sort of sad about that. But I guess we'll sing our closing song. We're just going to go along and do our closing song, and it's This Little Light of Mine, and we sing the first verse, This Little Light of Mine, like we know, and then there's Everywhere I Go. And then I saw online that there's a congregation that always sings this song, Everything I Do, for the last verse. So I think we'll sing it everywhere. You know, This Little Light of Mine, I'm going to let it shine, and Everywhere I Go, and then Everything I Do. And yes, let's do that. Stand and sing, or sit and sing This Little Light of Mine. And So we extinguish our chalices, and we extinguish the flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These will remain on earth until we're together again. Let me extinguish, and then I have. And I'm going to leave this one with it. Okay, thank you. And we close with the words we've always closed this poetry potluck with. They are from, well, they're Langston Hughes, but they're from Bruce. Folks, I'm telling you, birthing is hard and dying is mean, so get yourself a little lovin' in between. Okay, and Lily, you're on. Go in peace.